Dear students, in the part 1 of the nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, I made things clear that nucleus act as a tiny magnet. Then I explain you that which nuclei are NMR active, what is the criteria, what is the total nuclear spin, and what is the meaning of PMR, protons magnetic resonance, and what is the C13 NMR. Now in this part 2, mainly we will discuss about principle of NMR spectroscopy. In this figure you can see that these are the spin of protons, and in the absence of a external magnetic field, these spin are oriented randomly. અસ્તવ્યસ્ત રીતે આ પ્રોટોનની સ્પિન છે એ ગોઠવાયેલી છે. And the moment this sample, now students, whenever now I say proton, so you should understand it is, I am talking about the hydrogen. It is not the proton and the neutron, but it is a hydrogen. Whenever any sample containing proton or hydrogen placed into the external magnetic field with the strength H0 Gauss. In the figure, the symbol used is a B0, but we can also use the symbol H0. What is H0? Strength of the magnetic field. In the presence of magnetic field, these randomly oriented spins orient themselves into 2i plus 1 number of energy level. What is I? We knew that I is a total nuclear spin. Now we knew that in the case of hydrogen, this I value is 1/2. So for hydrogen, if you put I value 1/2 in this equation, you will get the answer 2. So you can see that in this figure that hydrogen nucleus, their spin oriented in two different orientations. Some of the spin, this one, this one, or this one, or this one, they arrange themselves parallel to the direction of the external magnetic field. While here you can see there's some spin, this, or you can say this, they arrange themselves against the direction of the external magnetic field. So that way, as according to the I value, the spin of the hydrogen oriented in possible two different energy level. This phenomenon exactly same like in the class when your teacher enter into the class. Before that, students are randomly arranged, but the moment your professor enter into the class and suddenly everything is in the order. Same phenomenon happen here. Now these are the two energy levels for the hydrogen. You can see that this is the lower energy level E1. Some hydrogen, they occupy this energy level. In this energy level, their energy is a plus mu H0. While some proton, they occupy higher energy level E2, where their energy is a minus mu H0, where this is a mu, mu is a magnetic moment, and as I told you, H0 is a strength of the magnetic field. So delta E, that is the difference between the E1 and E2 energy level. We know that delta E equal to H into nu. This nu is a frequency Nu, and this one is Mu, M for Mumbai and N for New Delhi. So this plus mu H0, this is a minus mu H0. As a result, delta E equal to, we know that H nu equal to 2 mu H0. So delta E amount of energy is required, and if that energy is absorbed, then proton from even energy level, after the absorption of energy, jump into the higher energy E2 level. Or we can, in other words, can say that from jump to E1 to E2, delta E amount of energy is required. In ultraviolet spectroscopy, after the absorption of energy, electron jump from lower energy to higher energy level, and this phenomenon is called electron transition. UV વર્ણપટમાં આ ઘટનાને ઇલેક્ટ્રોન સંક્રાંતિ કહેવામાં આવે છે. But in the case of NMR, after absorption of delta E amount of energy, spin of proton jump from one to another energy level. That phenomenon is called flipping of the proton. FLIP, flipping of the proton. Do you remember the Kaun Banega Karodpati? In one of the season, contestant they were given one of the lifeline that is called flipping the question. કોઈને પ્રશ્નનો જવાબ ના આવડતો હોય અને ફ્લિપ ધ ક્વેશ્ચન લાઇફલાઇનનો ઉપયોગ કરતા તો જે પ્રશ્નો હતા એ અદલ બદલ થઈ જતા હતા. સો in a same way, same meaning, the spin of the proton after absorption of delta E amount of energy jump from lower energy E1 level to the higher energy E2 level. This amount of energy delta E is actually very tiny, and that amount of energy is obtained from the radio wave region of the electromagnetic radiation. એટલે કે આ જે અત્યંત નાના મૂલ્યની શક્તિ જે જરૂરી છે પ્રોટોનની ફ્લિપ માટે એ વિદ્યુત ચુંબકીય વિકિરણનો જે આખો જે બેન્ડ છે એના જે રેડિયો વિભાગના તરંગો છે એમાંથી મળી જાય છે. So we can write equation number 1, delta equal to h nu equal to 2 mu h 0. Now see, from the equation 1 we can say that this nu equal to 2 mu h 0, and in their denominator this h. So here you can see that. Now gamma equal to 2 pi mu upon hi. What is gamma? Gamma is a nuclear constant, and for different nuclei it is a very specific. Gamma એ કેન્દ્રીય અચળાંક છે અને જુદા જુદા ન્યુક્લિયસ માટે એની ચોક્કસ કિંમત હોય છે. It is also called gyromagnetic ratio or sometimes gyromagnetic ratio. That gamma equal to 2 pi mu, mu you know that magnetic moment, h Planck constant, I total nuclear spin. So from this equation we can get value of mu. Mu equal to this gamma, h and I from the denominator they will shift into this numerator. So gamma hi, and from this side this 2 pi would shift in the denominator of this. So we are getting this value for the mu. Now this value if we substitute in this equation, then we will get this equation mu equal to h0 gamma upon 2 pi. Now we know that gamma is a constant, as I said, 2 pi is also constant, so we can say that frequency is directly proportional to the h0. But what is h0? Strength of the magnetic field. So from this equation we can say that the energy required for the flip of the proton, or we can say that the frequency required to flip the proton, that is directly proportional to the strength of the magnetic field. એટલે કે પ્રોટોનના ફ્લિપ માટે જરૂરી વિકિરણની આવૃત્તિ એ ચુંબકીય ક્ષેત્રના સમપ્રમાણમાં છે. So stronger the field, or we can say that in other words the higher the value of h0, then more amount of frequency is required. Now there are two possible ways. There are some NMR spectrometer in which we can keep magnetic field constant and we can keep change the frequency, but it is more convenient to keep frequency constant and we can change magnetic field. At some point when required amount of energy delta E at a particular value of magnetic field and frequency of the radiation, when these things match, at that time absorption of energy takes place. And when these happen, we can say that nucleus and radio frequency beam, they are in the resonance. So friends, in a previous presentation I told you that the meaning of resonance word in the nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is not the same as we used to do it in the case of resonating forms, but this is the meaning of resonance. Nucleus and radio frequency beam are in the resonance. મેં તમને કહ્યું એ પ્રમાણે કે બે પ્રકારના NMR સ્પેક્ટ્રોમીટર હોય છે. એકમાં આપણે ચુંબકીય ક્ષેત્ર એને અચળ રાખીને આવૃત્તિ બદલતા જઈએ, પણ વ્યવહારમાં વધારે સરળ શું પડે છે? તો રેડિયો ફ્રીક્વન્સી છે એને આપણે અચળ રાખી દઈએ અને ચુંબકીય ક્ષેત્રની કિંમત બદલતા જઈએ. એક ચોક્કસ મૂલ્યની શક્તિ ડેલ્ટા એની જરૂર છે જ એને. જે ક્ષણે એ ચુંબકીય ક્ષેત્રએ ડેલ્ટા ઈ અને રેડિયો ફ્રીક્વન્સી એ બંનેની કિંમત જ્યારે સરખી થાય છે ત્યારે શક્તિનું અવશોષણ થાય છે અને જ્યારે જ્યારે શક્તિનું અવશોષણ થાય છે ત્યારે એને વર્ણપટમાં આપણને સિગ્નલ મળે છે. આ વખતે ન્યુક્લિયસ અને ઇલેક્ટ્રોમેગ્નેટિક રેડિયેશન એ બંને એકબીજાના રેઝોનન્સમાં છે એવું કહેવાય. That's why resonance word is there in the nuclear magnetic resonance. Every time absorption of energy takes place, at that time in NMR spectroscopy, we are getting signal. So let me show you in this figure. First of all, this is a graph. You can see that lot of absorption of radiation. On the y-axis you can see that absorption of energy against applied field at a constant frequency, that is called NMR spectrum. And you can see here the different kind of signals are shown. We can say that this compound showing 1, 2, 3, 4, this 5 and 6 signals. So 6 times it actually absorbs the energy. So I hope you get the principle of NMR spectroscopy. એને આગળ આપણે વધીએ એ પહેલાં એને સમજી લેવું, જાણી લેવું એ બહુ જરૂરી છે. Next time, next week, we are going to start a very, very important topic, and that is a signal determination in the NMR spectroscopy. And if you don't understand the signal determination, then in your, right now we are discussing unit 3A, but in unit 3B, we have to solve the problems of the NMR. So this exercise is a very, very essential. So I advise that so far, whatever I taught you in a different presentations, prepare them every time. Whenever you start watching the fresh presentation, I again advise you to watch the previous presentation. This pandemic time is a challenging, so there is no alternate when the professor is in front of you. Like you people, I am also missing the classroom, but let us try to do whatever possible in our best way. Don't hesitate to ask any question directly to me in the case of any doubt. Stay healthy and take care of yourself.